Hello everyone and welcome to another free tutorial by Inside Out Records and Stevie R. Today I'm gonna run you through some of my favorite return track effects that I have designed, and I'm gonna also give you those return tracks so you can use them on your own productions. But it's important for you to understand them and see what am I using to create extra texture, and yeah, let's start. So I'm gonna use this section. So it's for effects, and we could even like solo the drums. So the first thing I want most of the time is a nice metallic reverb, and for us to understand generally how we manipulate reverb here, apart from all the other parameters, and we might do a separate video to explain reverb in detail. However, when you go with higher decay times and a really small room size, you're emulating metallic spaces. So we can emulate plates, we can emulate metallic rooms, we can emulate springs. So small size and larger decay time. And on this one, I kind of want to have the decay time as something that I can change over time if I want to. And I also have an EQ before the reverb, and as a rule of thumb, equalization before a reverb will actually change the character of the reverb, so if it's bright or dark, and the EQ after the reverb will be one of the factors that will contribute towards the perception of distance, if it's further away, if it's closer, etc. So this particular one, let's hear it. And you hear the metallic flavor to it. And I find the echo setting is the best for that. The high is getting it like a little bit away from the metallic character that I like, but again, this is totally up to taste. And then I have it's a really nice way to create a platey kind of reverb, and I can change like how thin it is and if it will sound. I could actually decide to make it brighter if I wanted to. So here, as you can see, you can make it brighter or darker. So here you have to work on it and find exactly the character that you like. And why not? You could even like have this gain probably. So if I was to have this gain as another parameter here, would be this here. So that would be like verb character. Stop mapping. Cool. Verb character. Darker, brighter. A really interesting effect that I use a lot. The other one I like is a spring delay, and I call a spring delay when you have a delay that you have actually, if I am to demonstrate very quickly on here so you can understand it. So essentially what I do is I use a delay, I take it off sync, and I start really slow. I can start from really low values, and the feedback again is according to taste. I want the repeats algorithm here because we are hearing on the channel. I'm gonna go with dry wet, and I will adjust it. Obviously, if you are working on the return track, you want this to be 100% wet. And you go. So this is really cool. You have heard it so many times, for example, in clubs and fields and so many things. It can be really interesting. And I like having it on my return here. So I can solo that. And I have the time. And I also have to have like to have a saturator just to change the character of my delay a bit. Completely different character. I do like the analog one. So you can hear it in solo. Can you hear it? How much it changes the saturation? So like this color here. So this is another really interesting effect that I use a lot. And probably you can enable all the sends. So you can also send the sends to other sends. So I can send like a bit of the delay into the reverb. So I'm creating a perception of space now that delay is going also a little behind. And it's getting this metallic flavor as well, which is something I might want to automate while I'm working. And one of my favorite effects that I use always for transitions, when you have an element and everything stops, for example, you go to a breakdown and you might want to have something leaving a nice tail. I always have a tape delay, which I call something. Usually it depends on the setting here. I just have like either on 3 16th notes or 4 16th notes, since I just adjust like according to the track. But just so like if you would do that, see breakdown. Usually I go on 3, so like this would be the tail that you will be leaving. So if everything else was dropping out, you can imagine that this can leave a really nice tail. And I have always one effect like that. I would ask you guys, use saturators, use EQs, use many different things to try to shape your delay sound. Obviously we have things like Echo Boy that already have analog emulations and many delays that, you know, you get so many different characters just from the plugin itself. However, I'd say it's a really good practice to try to shape the color of your delay yourself. It makes it extremely personal. So that is something I use a lot for transitions, to make things smoother when it runs into another section. So I always have that. And I usually use the Echo Boy for that in my space echo setting. However, I have used also like the delay from Ableton in many occasions. The last thing I really like is the crystallize, is this pitch hack, which essentially, it's again a delay, but it's an octave up, what I have programmed. So like if, for example, you're doing... So this for like, you know, to give me like this sparkle crystallize effect, and I use it from percussion to many other things and automate throughout my arrangements just to give the extra color. And again, it's important. I'm setting up the spring as well. Without the spring, so you can see here, by sending the sends inside other sends and combining all these flavors, you can get some incredible texture in your tracks. So that's it for me today, and I will make sure to send you all these devices so you can use them in your projects. See you next week.